the CrackVerbal timetable that comes up, right? It gives you a target for each week. So that was a very big plus point for at least for working professionals. You have a set of target for each week, and you can easily download that in Excel and see the progress. So that comes really handy, and it covers the entire course.
So before we get started, maybe you could just give us a little background about yourself. What is your experience and what has been your journey so far?
I did my engineering from BITS Pilani and completed it in 2020. After that, I joined strategy consulting in a boutique strategy consulting firm. So I worked there for just over 2.5 years. So after that, I thought of preparing for the GMAT. Before that, I gave CAT as well. So it didn't go that well. So maybe I thought just give a shot at GMAT. So I prepared for around 2 to 3 months, and I researched the CrackVerbal course and found that first of all, Arun sir's introductory videos were very good. So I thought maybe I felt the connection that okay, he others were basically giving verbal as a kind of a scary ghost, but for me, Arun sir's explanation was really well. So that's why I felt the connection and went for the CrackVerbal course. And it really helped me because I was weak in verbal because coming from an engineering background. Actually, I thought of because in CAT also I was falling behind in verbal only. So I knew that verbal is my weak area, and I focused more on that. And I scored a 720 in GMAT.
Since you mentioned that you did CAT preparation before, just wanted to understand what was the major difference between the two tests and also the approach that you took between the two tests.
Actually, I wasn't able to prepare that well for CAT because I was also working. And in consulting, actually, while working with global clients, the time zones doesn't match. So I had to work very long hours. So, but for CAT, actually, the main difference was here in verbal also. There's a lot of understanding that comes into place, which in CAT, there are some straightforward questions, which directly doesn't match with GMAT. So there's definitely a different strategy that you need to work on, especially working with the OG questions and also the tests that the CrackVerbal has of its own. I think those are a better match for the actual GMAT because those really match to what actual GMAT of asks for.
So what was the shift more from your mindset perspective that okay, GMAT has to be looked at differently?
I would just like to focus on the verbal point of view because in quant, first of all, the syllabus is different, and in quant, I think it's a bit difficult on the CAT side. But in verbal, since there are proper brackets of CR, SC, and RC, so we know like how we need to tackle each section differently. So that was my main concern or my strategy to work for preparing for GMAT. So to focus each section in a different manner.
So what was your major pain point in verbal? You mentioned that verbal was something you really wanted to focus.
Initially, SC was the major problem that I faced, but after getting to solve a lot of questions and going through the tutorial videos, I found out that SC was not my major concern, but later on CR became a daunting task for me because I used to sometimes overthink a lot and select the out of scope questions because thinking that those might be correct. So that would because in SC you can definitely pick out the wrong options and eliminate them. But in CR, if you tend to overthink or try to build a connection, every option or most of the options can be the correct answer. So later on, CR was a challenging task for me, but more or less the depth and the breadth of the concepts that are covered in the CrackVerbal course really helped me in tackling those type of questions, different types of questions.
You mentioned you had a very hectic job. How did you manage your preparation? And this is basically every GMAT test taker's problem, right? Managing work and preparation.
The CrackVerbal timetable that comes up, right? It gives you a target for each week. So that was a very big plus point for at least for working professionals. I wasn't working that time, so I could cover at least 2 weeks of progress in 1 week because I was my GMAT date was coming up, so I had to quickly finish that. But even for working professionals, you have a set of target for each week, and you can easily download that in Excel and see the progress. So that comes really handy, and it covers the entire course. It even has the tests and the course videos as well. So that was really helpful, and I didn't have to like look for a different technique or sorting my timetable. I just had to finish those targets and get done with it. So it really helped a lot in the preparation journey.
How much time did you generally spend on a daily basis on prep, and how did you divide it, like for working on concepts and then solving questions? What was your method that you followed?
So I just followed the timetable that was given. I didn't applied my extra, like I should first focus on this and that, because it is such beautifully mentioned, because the course tutorial comes up, and then the supplementary questions for that tutorial video. So that really helps and bolsters the concepts that you have learned in the video. So I didn't necessarily did anything from my own, because all tailor made timetable was given from the backend.
So when people prepare for GMAT, right, the first thing they always focus on is accuracy, and then they focus on the time management part.
Time management.
Which was your, did you also go stage wise in terms of how you went through
So
your prep?
thankfully for me, time wasn't a concern, because from initially itself I was completing almost each question under 2 minutes, and even for quant, even in my official test, I finished my quant in less than 9 minutes were remaining. So the time wasn't a problem as such, but accuracy was a real problem. And sometimes in some of the questions, when you spend a lot of time, then you go on guessing it, and your accuracy takes a hit. So these are the two things that I had to manage. Firstly was the time wasn't a concern, but the accuracy was a concern. But spending more time on some of the questions, where some difficult questions, or where I felt stuck, I had to look into this. So basically, I managed a error log. So that really helped, because the type of questions that I was spending more time, I had to relook those before my test.
From mocks to final score, right? What was the difference, and how did you go about keeping on improving the whole thing?
So actually, I didn't give any mock before the preparation. So I thought maybe I should start preparing and then give the mocks. So my mock scores didn't improve, but because the first official mock that I gave, I scored a 750, but my now official score is 720. So, but I was scoring in the range from 700 to 750 in all my mocks. So I didn't find any improvement, but that was the case because I already started with the course and then started giving. I didn't, without any preparation, I didn't give any mocks. So that would be a reason because why my mocks didn't improve.
And how did you decide that, okay, now I'm ready to take the test?
So I booked my test date initially, and after that I started preparing, and I knew that I have this date. Maybe I'll try to give another attempt if it doesn't go well, but I had a date marked. So that was like starting from the behind. So I had 2 months to prepare. I took a date after 2 months, and then within 2 months I completed the course. And I used to give each mock after 1 month of preparation. I started giving mocks each week. I used to give one mock, and with Dipankar sir, I used to do all the mock analysis. So he really also helped me a lot in verbal, because for quant I was consistently scoring 50 or 51. So I didn't need that much guidance in quant, but in verbal, I think this CrackVerbal really helped me a lot in improving my verbal.
How was the experience on the D-Day when you took the online or the offline version of the test?
So I took the offline. I went to the center, and actually there happened a mishap. So I forgot my passport, because I didn't know you have to take your passport. I just took my Aadhaar card because in the instructions it wasn't written, and then later on I found out online, because without passport you cannot give. So I reached half an hour before my scheduled appointment. So I came back to my home to get the passport, but it really was there in my mind before attempting. So that might be the case that I didn't score that well, but up to my standards. But yeah, I'm still happy with the score. But apart from that, minor nervousness and overthinking can definitely creep in, because not every day you give official GMAT, right? So, but to tackle that, you just have to believe in the process that you have uh, followed, and just go ahead and give it. So that is what I thought of.
So if you have to give some advice to aspirants who are planning or preparing for their GMAT, what would your advice be for them?
If they are following a course, that is the best, because it gives you a proper direction, like where you have to go. And the timetable that was given from CrackVerbal really came in handy, and that was the major reason I was able to follow a schedule and finish my preparation in under 2 months. Because people, while working in job, and if they haven't booked a test date, they just go on postponing their GMAT preparation. So my only only tip would be that to book a test date after at least of 2 to 3 months, wherein you can give in 1 or 2 hours daily, and even stretch a bit on the weekends if they are working professionals. But for others, I feel that 2 to 3 months of preparation is enough for GMAT.
Right.
That is what my take on it.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for this call. All the best for your application process.